Okay, let's talk about the Baltimore Ravens. They demolished the Dolphins. It was never even close. They pulled down their britches and spanked them in front of their mama and everyone. The good Lord above.
For a minute, I thought Josh Allen was out there with the Bills.
Right, it looked like a Josh Allen performance. Look, the Ravens have locked up the 1 seed. What an impressive year.
Crazy.
After all the offseason drama, after all the, they gave Lamar the big contract, the Lamar injury, no team wanted to talk to him. Is he going to go out and perform? He's going to probably win his second MVP. He's taking the Ravens to the 1 seed. They really are in cruise control as far as the AFC goes. I love it. Love to see it. He's playing great. Here's the question. Is there any team that can upset Baltimore in the playoffs?
Very, very few. I would say possibly the Browns.
Yep. I think they're the ones I would lean. I really, anything can happen, but right now, just looking at as it stands, Dolphins, Chiefs, just say
Jags.
Jaguars, Colts, Bills, Browns.
Let's even throw the Texans and the Steelers that are on the bubble. Let's throw them
Whatever.
in there.
The only team
The
I
Bills
would
would
feel
be
comfortable.
second for me.
Agreed. The Bills would be second, but you got to put the Browns one because they're divisional opponents. The Browns have already beaten them once. Mainly, I know you want to talk a little about Joe Flacco, so I'll wait and let you have that. And I'll just mention what we all know. This Cleveland defense is incredible. It's the best defense in the league. They shut everyone down. And the way Lamar's been rolling, the way Todd Monken and that offense has everything going, Zay Flowers, even Isaiah Likely looks like Mark Andrews 2.0. OBJ making old school OBJ catches on the sideline. Everything is working for Baltimore. If you go back and watch that game earlier in the year, I know Baltimore hadn't really become who they were, but they were still one of the best teams in the league. The Browns get physical, they get mean, they get dirty, and they punch you in the mouth. I think that's the only way you beat Baltimore. You have to have a defense that can get physical and disrupt what Lamar Jackson is doing. Cleveland is the only team that can do that. I love Kansas City's defense. I actually think the Chiefs' defense could limit Lamar. Problem is their offense can't keep up with whatever he does, right?
Yeah.
But Joe Flacco can.
Let's talk about Joe Flacco for just one moment. Something I looked up today because, we joke about him being on the couch and coming back. And let's remember, he won a Super Bowl.
With the Ravens.
2012. How many years ago was 2012, Tristan?
That would be 11 years ago.
11 years. In 2012, in the Super Bowl game, he went 22 for 33, 3 touchdowns, okay? That's a pretty good game, right? Wouldn't you agree?
Yep.
Not bad.
Not bad at all.
In his last, matter of fact, let's go back from, let's say, December the 3rd, looks like maybe his first game, 23 of 44. 26 of 45, 28 of 44, 27 of 42. This most recent game, 19 for 29. He's thrown 13 total touchdowns in the last 5 games.
He's only had one game throwing for less than 300 yards.
And it's been 11 years since he's won a Super Bowl. So if you look at the Super Bowl numbers versus now, he's better.
Pretty similar.
He's similar or better.
Okay. But here's the interesting thing. What do we have in common between now and then? Then he had Ray Lewis and that excellent Baltimore defense. What does he have now? Oh, just the best defense in the league. Probably the best defense we've seen in the past 5 years.
Oh, I was going to say the same lazy boy.
Oh, he probably has that. Still picking Doritos out of the cushion. Here is the question, though. Here's the question.
Yeah.
We know that the Browns defense can shut people down. They're going to keep them in any game.
We've seen that.
We've seen Joe Flacco do good. 300, 13 touchdowns. On the other side of that, though, we've also seen 8 interceptions. He's gonna sling it.
That's okay.
He's gonna air it out. Do you think the interceptions are gonna come back to bite him? Because as much as I love the Joe Flacco story, as much as I love Kevin Stefanski, and he actually might win Coach of the Year. I hope he does. It feels like the Joe Flacco thing has to come back down to earth at some point, right?
I thought that, but it's been 5 weeks straight. And it really hasn't changed. He didn't throw as much last game, but it was really a first half game. Was it Thursday night, right?
Right, against the Jets.
He did all his work in the first half, then took a nap, literally on the bench for the second half.
He was dreaming about Three's Company.
Yeah, and then went over there and typed Quentin Williams on the head. I don't know if you saw that.
That was weird.
That was very strange.
Quentin Williams did not like that.
Look, 11 years, the brain may have taken a little step back.
Right, it might be degenerating. But
body's
listen,
still going.
Here's the thing. I know you've said it's been 5 games, but we've had so many times this year where we've seen a quarterback like, dude, think about Jake Browning. For a minute, it's like, wow, this guy's legit. Joshua Dobbs for the Vikings. It's like, oh my God, are the Vikings going to get him a contract? Nick Mullins. And what happens is every single one of them, after a couple of weeks, they regress back to the mean. I feel like it's got to happen with Joe Flacco.
We're talking about a completely different caliber of quarterback. I mean, we're talking about...
Joe Flacco's old, though.
He's a Super Bowl winner, though. Like you can't discredit that. You can't leave that part out, right? I mean, we're talking about all these guys who hadn't even seen the playoffs before.
Nick Foles is a Super Bowl winner. No, he's not playing for anybody. He's younger than Flacco.
Yeah, but it's still different, okay?
I don't know. You're a little more confident on Joe Flacco holding firm than I am.
I sure am. Joe Flacco with a really good defense, it doesn't matter about the interceptions, man. If he can go out there and throw for 3 touchdowns, 4 touchdowns a game, 300, 400 yards, and, have a defense that can shut people out, I don't care if he turns the ball over 3 times a game because the defense is going to stop him 2 out of those 3 times.
Right.
So, and then tell me what offense can keep up with them with that defense. There's not one.
So I agree with, that's the thing. The interceptions you can live with. It's kind of like the whole Matt Stafford thing. Matt Stafford's notorious for throwing a lot of interceptions, but he also throws for a lot of yards and a lot of touchdowns. If Joe Flacco is giving you 2 picks, 2 to 3 interceptions a game, but he's also giving you 370 and 4 touchdowns, you can live with it with that defense.
With the defense.
But if we have a game where he just collapses and he's not giving you 370 yards, instead he's giving you, a 58% completion percentage, 150 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 or 3 picks, that's where it could, come back to bite him. I hope it doesn't. I'm kind of rooting for the Browns. It's just such a great story. I hate Deshaun Watson. He's a scumbag, so I love to see this happen. How funny. I guess Deshaun Watson's the one laughing because his bank account's huge, but it's like you get signed and then Joe Flacco comes out there and outplays you. Your team looks completely different. The Browns are like the must-watch team in the playoffs.